Alright, so this is the trading recap for February 1st, 2023, and this is Wednesday. So today was FOMC, so a pretty important day, as it always is. For today, I wanted to make sure that I stayed disciplined. I didn't want to take any trades until after 2:30. I wanted to let JPOW speak. I wanted FOMC to play out a little bit, and then once we got an established trend, I wanted to play that trend. So I didn't take trades prior here. I only took like a paper trade or two on the alerts just to test them out, but no real trades. I only took one trade today, 1 out of 1, so I'll go through that trade. But actually, I'll go ahead and go through the price action as well prior, just so you can get an understanding of the chop and what happened prior to FOMC. So some of my key levels. So this one right here is yesterday's high of day. This right here is pre-market high. This is pre-market low. I went over my zones from in the pre-market prep video, so I'm going to skip over that in the interest of saving time on the video, and then I will replay the price action for you. Oh yeah, and then I also wanted to say, like, 1 out of 1 trades. It was a great day. I think this was I think the best day I've ever had on my portfolio in Webull, which is pretty awesome. I have the screenshot here. I ended up finishing 39.9% on the portfolio on the day, and that's because I got several 100% on my runners, which was really cool. So didn't even need to size heavy, just let the play kind of play out, and then take profits along the way and my stop loss. So let's hit the replay button, and then let's go through the price action. Okay. So right away we open and we're finding support on this demand zone. And try to break through the EMA's VWAP at this key level and fail, and then on the second candle here we're able to do that. Find support again on that demand zone. Here we have intraday resistance from a previous day that we tried to get through but could not, but that is a bullish candle. Here we close above pre-market high, which is a good show of strength. And then we make it to the next intraday resistance I have. We failed to break that, but at the same time we found support on pre-market high, which is a good sign. Alright, and then on this candle, so following this bearish candle, so this candle was interesting. It was more of like a doji candle, and it was tough because it found support here and then perfect resistance there. I think this was probably a data release. You can see the uptick in volume. Really bearish candle, but we did find support on the low of day, and then we ended up closing above the demand zone. Again, that low of day is providing some support, as well as this demand zone, and then we get this candle, this bullish candle. So really we're just kind of chopping along this resistance, this key level, and then this demand zone. So boring price action. Now when we finally close under the demand zone, and we get these this bearish crossover, we get this red MACD, we get this increased selling volume profile. That's when you start to see the selling really pick up. So we found some support on the 200 EMA and pre-market low, and then we broke through that, found some support down here, bounced off of that, and then we just kind of consolidated, pulled back up after this move, rejected off of pre-market low here, and then we rejected off the 9 EMA, but on the next candle we shot up to VWAP. Okay, that signal was terrible, and it's because of the market conditions. And so this key level, this 405.36-ish level, was really good. We couldn't break it twice here. It served as a strong resistance here and here. And then you also, if you go back, you'll notice it was a really strong support here, 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 and here. So I like that level a lot, and that was drawn from either the daily or the hourly chart. We get a pretty bearish close here. So yeah, so this was a close below the 200 and pre-market low. I would expect us to retest the supply zone bottom after something like this, as well red MACD and red volume. And we did, in fact, test the bottom, and we actually dumped all the way to this next demand zone right here, and then perfectly bounced off of that demand zone. Couldn't get through the 9 EMA. I will actually stand corrected. I had 2 trades. So the first trade was just buying calls prior to FOMC just to get the IV run up. I sold half for 10%, and then I sold the second half at a 3% loss. But that ended up, evening out to I think a 6% gain. So I ended up like 1% on my Robinhood. So really noise on the Robinhood, but that was one trade I took. So I bought calls right here to get that run up on IV, and then I sold half when we rejected VWAP, and then the second half I sold at 159. So I sold them kind of like around this area. And then I was out, so I wanted to wait for FOMC. So it looks like the initial move was down on FOMC. Then this really strong bullish engulfing candle. It looks like we failed to break through this pre-market high resistance, closed below this intraday resistance, and found support here, and then looks like we dump on that next candle. Find support on the VWAP, keep going. That was a pretty bearish candle. This was a crazy candle. Like, this was insane. So this is a huge bullish engulfing candle. I mean, that candle spans the entirety of the day's range and some more, which is absolutely insane. And so what this did is it triggered some buy signals. So on the SMT indicator, it triggered this buy signal on the 5-minute, on the 1-minute, and on the 15-minute. And I got alerts for all three of those. So that was like, when I got that alert, I was like, I'm getting in here. I sized my normal size. I entered at the close of that candle. And then that second candle was also really bullish, and we had a huge increase in volume, so I stayed in. And then here is when I got out of half of my position. So these went from like, I was like, I think in 408 calls or something, 408 or 409. So they went from $60 to like $190 here. So this is where I scaled half of them out for like 200%. And then at this point, I was like, if we close below the 90 EMA, I'll scale the rest out. Just because we had so much strength, I wanted to see if this was just the trend that would continue for the rest of the day. And then we consolidated a little bit. So you'll see here that we found support on the bottom of this zone, shot up here, went to the next zone, and then could not break through that zone. And then we break through it there. I mean, at this point, those $60 contracts were like $600+, which was absolutely ridiculous. But I got stopped out here, and by the time they pulled back, they were at like 380 or something. So I sold half for about 200%, and then I sold the second half for about, I think, like 500%, which is absolutely wild. But yeah, so that's how I was able to get this 40% day on the portfolio. I was not sized heavy. I just, I mean, this was just a crazy move, and sometimes that happens. So anyway, thanks for watching.